Okay, well, welcome everyone. We're so excited to have another TIS Career Talk today. Today we are featuring Hadi Umayra, who is a master's recipient of our program in 2018. He's currently a PhD candidate at Old Dominion University, specializing in rhetoric, writing, and discourse studies, and technology and media studies. Hadi is also a U.S. Army veteran and a former linguist and cultural advisor who brings a distinctive perspective shaped by academic research, military service, and professional experience across language, communication, and culture. Hadi's career path offers an engaging example of how training in translation and interpreting studies can lead to impactful work across multiple fields. So we express deep gratitude for all of our alumni representing our program so well, and we're so deeply grateful today to Hadi in particular for joining us and sharing with us his presentation. So I will turn the time over to him. Thank you again, Hadi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ryan. And My name is Hadi Umayra, and thank you very much for the introduction because it gave very much everything that I done and I'm doing now. And This presentation, it will give some information about all the work that I have done it and I'm going to do it in the next future. So the presentation title, it will be Translating Across Worlds, and through that translation across worlds, I will speak about the literary practice and professional pathways and intellectual growth. And I graduated from the Department of the Translation Department at the University of Illinois in 2018. And go to the next slide. So the next slide, I would like to open the presentation by asking these questions. What does it mean to translate a world? So with the translate a world, a language and culture, it will play the main part in this context. And after we move forward, we will see that translation matters. And then we ask ourselves why translation matters. And this is something that I want to share with the audience that the first study that I did after I graduated from the high school, it was the PhD, Bachelor in English, and that was for me. English was my second language, not native language. My native language was Arabic. So when I studied English, I saw myself that I'm introduced to a new language. So with the new language that I learned, I felt that this is my responsibility now to take this new language and practice it. And in 2003, when the Iraq hot war, all the coalition forces came to Iraq. So we saw ourselves that we are the people that we need to be the median in between the public people, the people that they live in Iraq, the Iraqi people, and the coalition forces that came to Iraq. So at that moment, I felt the need of the translation. So translation to prevent conflict. The conflict that always we see it between the the coalition, the forces in any countries and with the people that they live in that country, and also with the translation, preserve the memory in the way how we are trying to preserve the language and the culture that we came from, and how we adapt to the new memory as by saying the culture and language. And with the translation also, we will see there is politics, and politics it will be involved, and we will be part of that. So we are consider ourselves translation is very uh, play the main role in this process, and in the end it will uh, define the identity that we had and the identity that we are gained. And for the what I did in 2010, I joined the U.S. military and I worked as a soldier in the U.S. Army. But at the same time, I still have that skill of translating and interpreting. Yeah. So my role was linguist and culture advisor when I joined the army, and uh, I had three deployments during my active duties. I went to Iraq, I went to Kuwait, and I went to Saudi Arabia. So the translation it was part of what I my life and the job that I do. And after I finished my active duties, I decided like to go back to school and achieve more degrees above the bachelor degree that I had in English. And then I was in Kuwait at that time. So when I was in Kuwait, very much we are in the battlefield. So I decided how to finish what I'm doing in the battlefield and move to the school life. I start looking for programs in translation, and one of the top was University of Illinois, the translation department. And I start filling my application for the admission, and I submitted all the required documents that they asked at that time. And one day I saw their message from them. They said you got accepted. I felt so happy because for that university it was very much as a dream to me. So I got admitted to U of I and I started studying translation. Even I remember Dr. Wael Hassan at that time, he was a director. He asked me, like, he said, Hadi, you can stay in Kuwait to do the work that you do, and at the same time, you can study online, visual to be student, online student. I said, no, 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 I'm just gonna stop everything that I'm doing in the battlefield. And I'm just gonna join the other classmates because I like to be presented in the campus. And that's how I started. I moved to Illinois and I lived in Urbanishambet for 2 years for that program. After this program, here started my journey for writing and inventing new ideas and new theories and new I start like having that way of thinking because like during the program we studied the good theories when they taught us what is fidelity and how the translator be visible, how to be a thinker, how to uh, to study the culture. So I start putting all that together and I start writing and start writing. I remember one of the assignment that I had during the courses that I was taking with Dr. Patricia. She said, Hadi, find you a text to translate from the source language to the target language. It was my Arabic was my source language. Then I start searching for the writers that we have in Arab countries, and I found the very interesting one. And I will tell the stories because I have the book will be presented as one of the slides. But for this theory, when I finished my program in translation at the U of I got admitted to UTD, University of Texas at Dallas, for a PhD program in literature. And when I moved there, I start be active and practicing the translator as a as a job, not just as something that I studied. No, and now I start practicing it as a job, and I start introducing myself, like if there is conference or if there's talk, and I wrote this one of the courses that I was taking at the University of Texas at Dallas. It was something I start. Uh, Working on it where I called the translator a hacker. And then I wrote an article, I submitted to the conference, they accepted, and then I start. my own very much frame for the theory, and I'm still working on to publish it as an article for all the people. But I'm giving a brief, like, how I thought of the translator and why I called him a hacker. Because with this, as we see, the translator, it can be a hacker, but he needs to follow these stages, and these stages goes together, and you have to study the culture, and you have to learn some telepathy, and you have to learn the skills of mind reading, and also for thought transmitting, and you get access to the author brain. And when you get access to the author brain here, you will be having uh, options for what you want to translate. You want to translate either a word or a phrase or a sentence or a paragraph or the whole book. You will be having options, and those options, first option, second option, third option, and you will start taking the best option that you see fit to your translation after you refined it through that screen of four steps, four stages. And this is something that I created, and I shared it with the in that conference, and now I have it as a slide, and then will be, I hope very soon, I'm working on it to be published as an article. And to move for other work that I done it, this is like something that when I was at UTD, University of Texas at Dallas, I start writing poetry, and I start publishing poems, and I start translating poems from English to Arabic, from Arabic to English. And then one day I was writing my own poem, and then it came to me this idea where I start with two words for the first line, and I started with the second line, and instead of the two words, I uh, put four words to be connected with the first line, and the four words I start thinking about to make them six words for the third line. And when I doing this process, I start seeing visions of more than one poem that I'm writing through these words. And I asked myself, I said, okay, this is a good way of writing a poem. Let me see and continue to see if I can end the poem and create a new style of writing poetry. And then I continue by adding two words for each line till I finished with the middle. And then I start reducing two words each line. And as you see on the picture that we have it in the middle, where it show you this is how the poem to be completed. And this poem, I said, okay, so with this poem, let me see if I can read it from the top to the bottom. It can read very perfect. And if I read it from the bottom to the top, it will read perfect. And I said, okay, let me separate the first part and read it as one poem by itself. And I start working on the words and the image inside the poem. It perfect sounds by itself as one poem. And then I read it from the bottom to the top, read as poem. And then I took the second part, the second half, I read it from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. I start like seeing I have five different poems in one. So the first half, if you take it, it will be that the small one on the bottom, and you will continue creating a small version of the poem by using the same words. So I said, this is a very great style. Let me work on it and start searching to see, like, if there is something similar around the world. And I start doing the search, and I couldn't find something similar where you can put five different images in one poem, five different poems in one poem using the same words. And I said, okay, this is invention. And one of the conference opened, I said, okay, let me write. This is going to be my topic to talk in that conference. So I submitted my abstract, and they accepted. And when they accepted, I started presenting this as my invention. I told them I invented, and this is the way how invent this style, and I'm trying to introduce it to the world. And after that conference, I start writing poem by poem by poem till I finished the whole collection of poems, and I published it in Dubai. And I called that invention ramified poetry. So this ramified poetry, it coined to me. This is some work that I done it after the brain hacking, and after that I start writing stories with the stories, story after story after story, till I collect. I believe in this book, Mind's Gravity, I have 7 to 9 short stories in this book, and I published it again. So I start having that feeling that I'm able to publish books, to publish articles, participate in conference. So this is something that I uh, I saw myself. This is not me just doing the translation. No, I'm right now practicing the writing. I'm an author now, and with the authoring, I said it might be this is something that it can take me to different route. When I was like doing the PhD at UTD, I submitted an application uh, to study political science. So I got accepted. They gave me admission for the master degree in political science, and I start taking the courses in political science. So I saw myself like involved in more different disciplines, and these books that I translate them from Arabic to English. So this is the one that this is the book that A Piece of Night. One of the stories I started when I was at the University of Illinois in the translation department. This is one of the stories that I started. And when I started that stories, and there was like 12 stories in that book, I said, okay, so let me create a file, put that file aside because I will go back to it in the future. And as we see it now, it's a book translated, all the stories. All these, like the one that on the left, Widow's Doomsday, this one poetry, and the poet from Iraq, and the one in the middle, A Piece of Night. It's a short stories, and the author from Egypt, Dr. Ahmed Al-Khamisi, and the poet Hassan al-Nassar, and the third one from Algeria, the author Layla Lokrif, and she that book, France Fears a Piece of Cloth. It very much looks like a memoir. She wrote her the life in Germany when she was in German, living there, and she wrote her life in this book. So she asked me because I remember like we worked together with other author. He was working on writing a book about my ramified poetry, and we were about to publish it, so we contacted that publishing house in France, in Algeria, and she accepted the work, and we start working. After we start working, and she heard that I'm a translator, she asked me to translate her book, and it became like a third project that I had it, and I translated. We published it together, and they published it in their publishing house. So those three translated books accomplished, and this is my very much the latest work that I had it published. It will be very soon uh, for sale in the social in the on the online stores and libraries. This one, if you look, it said edited by Hadi Umayra. And now I'm not just a translator, not author, but right now I'm working as an editor. And how I become editor? I become an editor because this book, it very much build on other books that I worked on before. The other books that I worked on before, it was like translated poems from Arabic to English. And when I translate them for the International Literary Union, they asked me to translate those poems. I translate them, and for them, when they published it, they published that books, both version Arabic and Arabic text and English text together in the same book, and they publish it in one of the Arab countries. The publishing house was there. Then when I saw that happen, I said, okay, so I'm the translator. Now I can move it further and I will bring it here to our audience where they can read it just in English. But for me, I don't want to be a translator. As for there is another version where I was a translator. Then I said, okay, I'm going to be an editor here. So with editing process, very much it's a corporeal translation work, because what you do for translation, you do for editing. You have to find the text that you want to edit it, and you need to bring it all together and find everything that you needed to finish it as accomplished work. But with this project, I already have the Arabic version and I already have the translated version, and now I'm gonna move it to the edited version. And with the edited version, I called it A Journey Through Time, an International Poetry Anthology. And this book has 40 poems from all the poets from different countries, and most of them they speak two or three or four languages because they lived abroad for a while. So most of them, the Arabic is the source language, is the native language. And so they participate in Arabic version. And when you read these poems, you will see different voices, different style, different inner self. Very interesting. Like when I read it, when I translated, I enjoyed translating it, and when I edited, I enjoyed editing it, because like I feel like that I'm doing a new work. And the career timeline for me, as we mentioned in the first slide, this is like some work that I have done is from 2010 till now, and this will very much bring back all the memories that I had them. And I still remember that all the work that I started as a translator and interpreter. And translation, I believe this is the discipline that create me now, made me how I am now, and how I'm introducing myself to the world. And as we see, like I from the army to the after I finished that contract, I established my own school to teach languages. That was in Iraq. And when I said languages, it was like 7 or 8 languages, and we had students at that time. It was like very popular and successful. The institute, a lot of people loved it. And after the institute, I worked as a contractor for the Department of Defense in Kuwait. And after that, working in Kuwait, I went back to University of Illinois to study translation. And when I was studying translation, I worked the financial aid at U of I for some times. And then I moved to Texas to do my PhD in literature. And during the PhD time, I start announcing myself author, translator, and public speaker. And I represented the community, the Arab community in Dallas as well. And after I completed all my courses, I ended up having master in political science and master in literature from UTD. Then I thought, like, this is my time. I'm done in Texas. I need to move to somewhere else. I moved to Virginia, North Virginia, to be close to the government, and I start a new life. But I have all that background with me. And when I moved back to Virginia, I got a job with the federal job. They were working for the government and with the USCIS. Until now, I'm working for them. But at the same time, when I moved to Virginia, I started a PhD in English at Old Dominion University. And that something that I'm Everything that I do for this PhD program now, it very much takes the root goes back to the translation. Everything I mention, I always bring it, some examples from the translation courses that I took at the University of Illinois. And this is something, the transmission, where we can see it. When you transmit it yourself from the education to the federal institution, you will see there is some change in there. It's not just now you translating your thoughts, you translating your speech, you translating, you very much like you will be different person because the language that you use it and the system that they use it, they're very much different. So you have to adapt to that and change to the reality that you are working in it. And this kind of like where it can put you in the development spectrum very much, where you can see start analyzing and thinking, and you will see that multicultures start involved, and all that literature behind those cultures you need to learn and you need to practice, you need to, and all of that, as we remember that we done it when we were in the translation department, and the ethical reasoning, all of that get have a place, and you have to adapt to that change. And with this slide, as you guys see that I put the translation framework in the heart of this diagram, sorry. And from the translation, you will see how I branches, how I ramified, where I start like, seeing different disciplines. And I saw myself where I can see this is like, where I can feel, where I can fit, where I can do, where I can feel that I'm capable of taking that risk and learning new things. So, uh, uh, within the PhD now, I took a second emphasis. It's about technology and media studies. And I brought this slide to the presentation because I said this is something that very interesting to see that the translation, it's not just to translate in a text, translation papers. No, there is a media now where you see that ideology for translation, but like in different formats and all that algorithms that they uh, work on it or trying to create some materials. It all goes back to the translation, the studies that I had done it in the past. And besides like everything that we have it now, it connected to the AI, as we see the AI translated data, but for us, we translated words. But for if we combine them together, both are considered data nowadays. And the development and the advice that I want to give and share with the current graduate students, and this is something that very serious to me, and I hope like it will be a good bash message to you guys. First, try to build your portfolio early. What I mean by portfolio, like every work that you do in it now during this program, try to save it for later. Believe it or not, you will be able and you will use it for the future. And I showed you one of the books. It was based on one of the assignment that I had in the translation department when I translated my first story. And try to make sure everything that you work and decide to make it as your or your assignment or homework or the work that you want to do for any project. Try to make sure like you have a vision for that work for the future to make it connected that with something that you love, where you can take it to the future with you. And when you the second advice that I want to give to the graduate students, when you're trying to publish something, try to keep uh, doing the same process over and over, even when you see yourself that there is a rejections. When you submit an article or you submit a poem or you submit a small piece of text to translate or you submit a blog, if you see there's a rejections, you don't let that stop you for any reason, because those rejections, they will build you up, and with each rejections, remember that you will receive a feedback, and you will start building the skills through every feedback that you receive from the rejection uh, journal, or rejection sites, or rejection magazine, or rejection publishing house, and all of those. You have to put them together and start working on them, where you can one day see your work uh, got published in somewhere. And this is like, the as advice, develop a niche for everything that you do, because everything connected, believe it or not. As the what I show in this presentation, I showed you that I branched it out of the translation, but I connected myself back to the translation. So translation, always keep it in your mind. It will be the core for everything that you do, because you will go back to it in somehow. And after that, I encourage you to learn the institutional language, because as I said, when you work for the government, they will have different system, different language, different spectrum. Everything is different, so you need to make sure that you are prepared for this move if you want to move. So your path, always remember, your path is your the future, and you are the one who's creating that path. And as we see, embrace non-linear growth that you have it, because everything that you think is not related, one day it will be related. One day you will use it. One day it will be connected. So careers are ramified. The same way how I put all those five poems together, and somehow same thing with the careers. And they branch unexpectedly, believe it or not. Because as we said, growth is our path, and we have to make sure that the path we create the way how we like, and protect curiosity, as we see in the translation work. uh, because don't consider the work that you do it for translation it's a mechanical labor. No, it's not, because it will go beyond. Believe me or not, in the future you will remember everything that I said now in this the talk. And remember these two, you will translate, as we said, not just for this program. No, you're gonna use it somewhere else, and you will be crossing languages, crossing systems, cross disciplines, and cross identities. So remember, and all of that, what we have been said. And I just want to finish the presentation with this saying. I wrote it. You are not just translating words. You are translating worlds, and keep that in mind. Words, worlds. And thank you very much. And now I'm ready for your question. You guys hear me?
Yes, it sounds like we're ready to for a nice question and answer period. So anybody with a question, feel free to jump right in.
I have a question. I'm very impressed by you published a book of short stories. What was like, how did that get started, or what was your inspiration for that?
This is one of the slides covered that, but I'm gonna repeat it. When I was doing the translation program, one of the assignment was translate a text from Arabic into English. So I decided to find an original work not being translated from Arabic into English, and I ended up with short stories written by Ahmed Al-Khamisi, Dr. Ahmed Al-Khamisi. He's a teacher in one of the university in Egypt. And I contacted him first. I said, Dr. Ahmed Al-Khamisi, I'm right now doing translation, and I'm in translation program, and I'm going to translate text from Arabic into English. Do you give me some agreement, like to let me translate your work from Arabic into English? And he said, yeah, why not? This is a good opportunity. And we start talking, and I introduced myself to him. And he like the way how I'm going to translate it. And I promised him that this work, it will continue till I finish the whole book. So that's how I translated with the first short story. And I ended have a book. And after that book, I got another project to translate a poetry book. And after the poetry book, I got another project to translate that memoir. And after that memoir, I got a project to translate a collection of poems. And then I have all of that work. And right now, I'm almost like with 11 books published between I wrote them and between I translate them.
That's very impressive. So your strategy as far as just approaching authors, just kind of like dive in and do it, or did you have a
No, here is the
strategy?
thing. You need to create your network. Connection is very essential here in the process. And how to connect that connections. There is so many organizations, so many forums, so many places where you see the liter the writers like to go to. For those events, you will go there and you will be part of that event and you will start introducing yourself. You will start talking to real people. They have
Hmm.
real work published. And after you introduce yourself, believe it or not, you will find yourself like being approached with someone like willing to have a work with you and somehow.
Hmm.
And with that kind of connection, you will keep it going till you see yourself that you are got connected to a good community where you can bring yourself up. And that's how I ended up a manager for a literary union branch in Dallas, because they saw me active. They said, okay, how about like we were gonna give you this job to do while you are doing your PhD at UTD. I said, yeah, I will take it. I will accept it because, I'm very much involved in that kind of business. So I'm ready to take that responsibility and represent the union. Then, when I represented the union, we start communicate. We start doing some gathering. We start doing some conferences and talk. And we start like, having that kind of character where you present yourself as existed in this world. And they start trusting you. And you need to build that trust.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my questions. If you need more, I can say more. But that's what I have for now. And I have my contact information in there. If anyone wanna contact me to ask or like, or wanna do something or collaborate, I'm ready to take that. We can take that, Kenya.
Yeah, I have a question. Also a brief comment. I really liked how you talked about the embracing the nonlinear growth because especially like in my case, I've recently graduated from the translation interpretation program, and I think it's just like inspiring to be adaptable in like a world that you can learn so much in a field that you can learn so much from like in different fields. It's not just like legal translation interpretation or health. There's like so many options, and I think adaptability is like a good thing to have in this field. So I really just enjoy the that way you approached this skill of like being adaptable and just being open to like a non-linear growth. um and having that said, I think my question was it's kind of like an experience, also like a academic preparation, I guess, a combination of both. um do you think there's like another way? Well, you mentioned that you were well, you applied for like a federal job, like as a translator and interpreter, if I'm not mistaken. So, is there like another way to get into like political translation interpretation without necessarily like having the master's in political science? Because I know that in your background you mentioned that you also have like the experience with like the military and all these like linguistic interactions that you had. Um so I guess, do you think that experience would have been like probably enough to like apply to these like important high demanding jobs, or do you think it you would need like a combination between like good experience and then like the academic support or the background?
Yeah, so the question, I'm gonna make it short. You're
Mm.
trying to go to the top of the the jobs that everybody likes very much. Working for the State Department, for
Mhm.
example, or working like, for the USCIS, or working for one of the agencies.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
these federal jobs, and believe it or not, I will connect your questions to the previous question. Connection.
Okay.
So the connection, you will meet different people. And
Mhm.
now I'm one of the people. If we keep in contact, in the future, one day it will be opening. And then I will share with you that opening, invite you to apply. Because here's the thing, like, if you want to work for the government, keep that in mind.
Mhm.
One thing they look at, they need an example within the team. So while there is an example representing the community that somebody will apply. So, for example, I graduated from the University of Illinois. I shared that yesterday with the team that I work with, and they said, "Well, that's very great." So for them, like, it's something that it's a prestigious things to do, like, where your university invites you back after all those years to have a talk. So they will find me as inspired for whoever gonna graduate from that department, where they can ask, hey, if you know people that they want to come over and work for us, like, they are welcome, because all the skills or all what they see now and the way how I do the work, they will like whoever gonna come from that place. So communication, connection, networking, it's very important, and keep it in mind. Translation is the foundation for everything that you're gonna do in the future.
Mhm.
Is that enough answer, or you need more?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
So do you want me to,
Thank,
Dr. Miller, do you want to take care of the
yeah,
audience, or?
sure. Thank you, Hadi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Flavia, would you mind wait? I think we have a question from the chat. Katrina has been waiting patiently. So we have a question in the chat. Katrina is asking, just give me a second. Did the school you started after your time in the army
Hi,
focus
Tim.
on, oh, hi, so Tim there.
Yeah, Tim, he
Yeah.
graduated with me.
Yeah, we
Same
have
year.
Constance. I think Constance is from your same cohort when you graduated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the question is, did the school you started after your time in the army focus on mainly translation or interpretation? Did you have language-specific courses or was it more generalized? If they were language-specific, how did you find different teachers for the different languages? That's from our current student, Katrina. Thank you, Katrina.
Yeah. So for me, the way how I started as a native speaker of Arabic. As a native speaker of Arabic, I have the language. And then when I graduated from the high school, I start doing my bachelor, learning a new language, foreign language, English. And with the English, there was a minor language, French. So I have to study French. So now I saw myself that start introducing my mind to new languages. So I start learn the system on how uh, other languages working. And this is a good example I'm going to share now. When I was in the army, we had a time they created schools to convert the language that you speak it into another language. So during that time, because I speak Arabic, they asked me to convert it to Dari, to Afghani language, because at that time there was a war. So they said, we need more people to learn that language. So I said, okay, I will join that school. So they sent me for 6 months to learn to learn that foreign language. And within 6 months, I start seeing myself able to speak that language, write it, read it. And the good things about that language, they use in the same alphabet, the same Arabic alphabet. So it was for me easy to convert. That was one of the reasons for them to ask me to convert to different languages. So when you practice the translation and interpreting, you have the mindset of how to become a translator. So when you take courses in translation discipline, in translation school or interpreting school, then everything it will back you up for the past experience that you had. So this is a kind of like how to connect between the work and the study, or the study and the work. Just do it vice versa. I hope that good answer, right?
Regina, are you still there? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Hadi. Thanks. And I forgot to mention we have a big surprise today. Our former program director, Dr. Tolliver, is here.
Yeah.
Joyce, are you still there?
I'm here.
like
I'm
to say hi.
delighted to be here. Hey, Hadi. It's very exciting.
Very nice. Very nice to see you, Dr. Tolliver.
Likewise.
You,
I don't want to
you,
interrupt the questions, though.
here you go. You remember me, right?
Of course, I remember you, Hadi. Yes, absolutely.
I was
Yeah,
an active student. And
very much so. I remember
little
many
bit,
conversations.
yeah,
Many
little bit like,
conversations.
yeah. And thank you very much for everything that you've done for us. And
Thank you.
believe it or not, every time I remember your name, I feel that you are one of the people that I can depend on whenever I need something.
Always.
You, Dr. Patricia, and there's a few faculty members are very supportive, very supportive. And I have to say it. And this is a good chance for all the graduate students. Build a good relation with your professors, with your doctors. It's not, don't think about just to graduate from this program and you will take the degree, and that degree it will make you in heaven after graduation. You will be wrong. You will be like find yourself in isolation. So try while you are in this program, build a good communication, good community where you can keep it with you, because those they will support you for the future. Everything that you do in the future, as I said, it will start from this program, from this study, from this discipline. Translation, interpreting. Don't think it's about just something that you translate a document in a legal document or medical or literature or something. Don't specify yourself and put it in one corner. You will be in that corner your whole life. Open your mind, open yourself, and try to branch the branches the way how I described ramified poetry. Make yourself available for anyone who like to invite you to work with him, and do different jobs. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tolliver, and good to see you and happy to see you. And believe it or not, this is a good moment for me, to go back, because I remember like in 2018 when I graduated, I did my presentation to graduate, but now I'm doing it as a guest speaker. This is something like, you guys don't believe it. I never been happy like this before. I went like interviews on TVs, and I participated in some active talk, and I did some interviews, and I've been like, on social medias. But this moment is very special to me. Very special to me.
Yeah, thank you,
I love
Hadi.
I
We
love I
could
love the
feel that.
translation
Thanks.
department in Illinois.
Thank you for the sweet message. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's a emotional moment, I guess. Thanks. Okay, Flavia, thank you for being patient. It's your turn for the question.
Thank you. Thank
Flavia
you
is
so
one
much.
of our current students as well.
Yes. Hi, Hattie. Thank you so much for your awesome presentation and for all of your advice. I think it's very interesting to see how your career has developed, and like you just recently were telling us as an advice that we need to be able to explore, right, the different paths that this career can take us through. And in your list of advice, I thought it was interesting to see that you were telling us to create a niche, right? You mentioned the importance of developing a niche, but it's something that I've heard for that is something really important for a profession. As translators and interpreters, they also say we need to stay flexible and be able to work across like different paths like you just mentioned, right? So my question to you, Hadi, is how do we balance specialization and versatility when we are so early in our career?
Yeah. So to answer these questions, I mentioned it within the presentation, but I'm gonna repeat it in different way because I feel it's very important. Every work that you do right now, or every assignment that you do right now, every homework that you do now, every project that you do now, try to save it for the future because this will be as if something that you will return to it to use it. So everything that you do right now for the program as a specialized skills that you're trying to create, you're working on it to graduate. But I want you to open your mind and walk outside of the cave that you are right now in and take every single project or assignment or papers or tasks that you did for this project, save it for the future. You're going to use them all, but in different level, in different occasions, different situations with different people. And I said this because I'm an example now. Everything that I brought it as a published work, believe it or not, it has something to do with what I did for the translation program I graduated from. Is that a good answer, please?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, I do believe that there are so many things that we've done in the course of our master's degree at
Exactly.
UOI that allows us to like spark something that interests us and motivates
Exactly.
us. And in the future, we are able to take it,
So,
make it bigger,
so the vision that I'm sharing now, when I was in your seat, I didn't think about like, we were doing different things. Even we were doing like, we were playing with the machines. We trying like, to learn tools. And that like, when they were trying to explain how to use Mimikyu or SDL Stratus, are you guys still taking these courses?
uh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so when I took them at that time, I said, you know what, like this is some kind of like where we are trying to introduce new knowledge, but for that new knowledge, we need to be prepared. We need to study more. We need to learn more because it's not just about software that you're gonna learn just for this period of time. No, you need to learn more skills to support that software. So during that time, I was like not really have the same sites that I have it now. But now, everything that we mentioned, I use it and I'm trying to use it. And believe it or not, I always feel proud of one thing. Like, I done it when I was in the translation department. I'm going to mention it now. One day we were asked to create terms and we were studying, like, how to terminology. And uh, I'm sorry, I forgot her.
Warburton. Warburton.
Yeah,
Could it
she
be
taught.
Warburton or was it?
Yeah, so she was like teaching us technology, and one of the projects that she brought to us to create terms and share it with WIPO website. So each student took 10 terms to create 10 terms. And when I'm saying creating a term, you think it's something simple. But now when I grow and I start like, seeing myself, with that level, creating a term is not something that you do like, when you're about to graduate from a master degree. Creating a term by itself, it's a project where you can feel proud. Every time that you talk about something that you published in the past, you will say, hey, I know how to create terms. Creating terms as if like, you creating new human beings. Just keep that in your mind. So this is something big. We did it before, and now I can see the value of it.
Thank you very much, Hadi. Thank you.
Thank you, Hardy. So I guess Patricia and Joyce mentioned the professor you mentioned should be Laura Paulo.
Yeah, Laura.
Like,
Yeah, Dr. Laura.
okay, that's before like
Yeah.
Kara, right? Before
Yeah,
Kara. Okay,
Dr.
great.
Laura. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
She
and
was
the
like,
courses you.
yes,
Yeah, awesome.
Dr.
Go
Laura.
ahead.
She was like very much, giving us. At that time, I was thinking like too much information, but now I regret like that I was not given that much time for all the projects that we had at that time. Yeah, Dr. Laura.
Yeah. The courses you mentioned, I believe we are still offer them like the terminology one. 407 is still one of the required courses for every grad students. Of course, the content has been updated or developed, but the course is the same. And also the CAT tools, maybe that's what you mentioned about computer-assisted translation tools.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's evolving, but still the very core kind of required courses for professions or students in professions. Yeah. Thank you, Hadi.
I still use them, those tools.
Awesome.
To let the student know that everything that they're using now, they're gonna use it in the future. I'm using those tools now. I go back because the corpus that how you create it, it's a very much like when you do data analysis. Data analysis exactly the same way how you do when you put all the sources together in ANCANs. When you put them together, trying to find your. So this is one of the tools that I'm still using now.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what Dr. Phillips added here. We use CAT tools in courses outside the CAT tools course. Yeah, like every course you may need the techniques, skills there. Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Oh, do we have one here? Just a sec. Okay, if we don't have any question, Ryan, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Thank you so much,
Great.
Hadi. Yeah, we thank you so much for your time. We thank you for your expertise. We're thankful for you sharing your great memories of being here at the University of Illinois in the Translation and Interpreting Studies program. Thank you again, and we expect to continue following you and learning about all of your adventures and your great accomplishments. So thank you again for sharing your time with us today. We appreciate it deeply.
I want to thank you guys for inviting me. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. And thank you very much. I don't know how to thank you guys. Like, and good to see Dr. Tolliver and Dr. Patricia always like, the one of the supporters. And now I'm meeting Dr. Ryan. And we might like in the future we see like, one of the departments in translation departments overseas, they want to connect. We will try to be in between.
Wonderful.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. And thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.